Pookies? Is this tilted? Welcome back to my channel. I realized as I was filming this Q&A or editing this Q&A that I did not film an actual intro. So welcome to my first Q&A. This is a more chill one. I think in the future I will include Q&As into me living so that I'm not just sitting down for the whole thing. But I hope you enjoy and that you get to know me better. Okay, bye! When I hit 5,000 subscribers, I posted a story on Instagram basically saying that I'm going to do a Q&A for 5,000 subscribers. First and foremost, my name is Brianna K. I was going to say it's Bri, but my full name is Brianna, and yes, my full last name is K. K-A-Y. I'm 23. My birthday's in June, so I turn 24 in a few months, which is wild. One of the first questions that I got asked was, what is your nationality / ethnicity? Nationality, I am American, live in America, I've always lived here. My mom is from Guatemala, which is a country in Central America, and she's a little tiny bit Italian as well. So I'm half Guatemalan and a little Italian, and then half German Jewish. My dad's family immigrated to America from Germany, but they are Ashkenazi Jews. They're European Jews. So I have really bad allergies right now, so my sinuses are just a little nasally, and I truly do apologize for that. I got a lot of questions on school, which is so fun because it has been such a journey for me and we still have yet to graduate. The school I go to that I will be graduating from eventually is called Biola University. I did 2 years of living there on campus, and I did the rest online, and I withdrew a couple times because of my autoimmune disease and then one time because of wanting to pursue like ministry work. I changed my major about 5 to 6 times. I started as an English major, and before classes began I switched to psychology. Then I went back to English writing, journalism, digital journalism, PR, and then we landed on theology, which feels pretty different than the 6-7 other ones, but I kind of always wanted to pursue creativity, and I have really truly not seen myself get a normal job ever. So then I was like, my parents want me to get this degree or else I would leave, but why not study something that I'm genuinely passionate about? So I switched my major to theology, and yeah, which is crazy because it's a predominantly male degree as far as my school is, and sometimes that was really hard, but here we are. One more class, math statistics, I'm coming for you, and then I have my undergraduate degree. Someone asked, do you want to be a YouTuber full-time? How do you make money? What do you do for a living? My post-graduation plan was to move to Texas for 3 months because I thought I would have graduated in December, and then that silly, we just can't talk about that math statistics class anymore. I don't want to get into it. But I did end up moving here for 3 months. The purpose of doing that was to finally commit to starting a YouTube channel and posting consistently on it, and then living with my best friend who does that. Yeah, I guess my dream job would be this, like being your own creative boss and getting to create what I want to create just sounds so fun, and to be able to like travel and show the world and show culture, and that's so cool to me. That's always been a dream of mine. How do you make money? What do you do for a living? Such a good question, guys. How do I make money? I don't do that right now. When I was in college full-time, I was an RA. I was a teacher assistant for a class. I worked at a coffee shop called Phil's for a bit. So I had different jobs, but my autoimmune disease is quite debilitating, and there are days I truly can't get out of bed. So having a job that you have to consistently show up for has not worked out in my life thus far because I end up having to call in sick. There are days like I have so much fatigue and brain fog, so working in like customer service, being a barista, there are days like I would be talking to customers and I didn't know what they were saying back to me just from literally sheer brain fog. So what I do for a living is pray that YouTube works out. I used to say I was just a full-time student, and then when people would ask me that, they'd be like, oh, great. So when you have the ability to fall back on this I'm a student statement, then no one cares that you don't have a job. And now that I don't have that, it feels a little bit daunting to just be an adult with no job. But my dad has his own business and I occasionally help him with his website or different things like that. So I kind of work for him sometimes. And then I've made money in the past from Instagram. It's probably been almost a year since I've made money from social media. Like I just haven't gotten any brand deals or accepted any. So that's why my best friend lets me live in her house for free. I actually just can't pay rent right now anywhere. So when I go back to California, I will probably move in with my parents until I figure it out. Where all have you lived with a little backstory? I truly can't give a complete rundown of all the places I've lived because as an adult I have moved so freaking much. I will do it from August 2022 to now. August 2022, I'm living in LA and then I get this opportunity to move to Huntington Beach. So I live in a house with 28 people. Welcome to the kitchen.
Who's in the kitchen today?
Corison.
All right.
Hey, we're home.
Time to move out. Got all my necessities. That's all she needs.
I love it here.
Say bye.
Bye. I don't know how I did that, guys. I lived there from the end of August until January, and then in January I stayed in the same house, but I moved into my own room from like mid-January to the end of February. And then I moved into an apartment with some of my best friends, and we thought that was gonna be like 3-ish months. It ended up only being 3 weeks, which was a blessing. That apartment was way too small for 4 people and we needed separation at that point. Like, I shared a room with one of my friends who had a queen size bed and I had this little twin size bed in the corner of the room. It was like, it just wasn't ideal.
Bye to this apartment. You were something to me for 2 weeks. Something good.
That was unreal.
You're gonna miss me.
I'm gonna miss you, honey.
You live 10 minutes away from me now.
You are the queen of moving. Like everyone's like, I can't believe you're moving out so fast. I'm like, I can.
That's really good.
So then I moved in April and I lived with a married couple and one of their cousins who I had met one time in Finland. And her and I became like best friends. It's Mia. She's been in different videos, or at least one video. I had my own room there and it literally was like the first place that ever felt like home outside of my parents' house, which was insane to have that experience. And then I was there April, May, June, July, August. I started feeling this like feeling that I wasn't gonna live there at the end of the year. And I did not understand where that was coming from because I had no plans to leave. And then as the fall kind of went on, I realized like I don't think I can afford to keep paying rent here. I think it's time to transition out. End of November I moved out. December I stayed with friends, paid one of my friends to stay in an extra room in her house for a bit, lived with my parents, and then moved here at the end of December. So I've been in Texas end of December, January, February, end of March, I am going back to California. Since I was doing this 3-month stint of long distance with my boyfriend, I thought it was just a great time to move to a new city, live with my best friend, and work on something I've wanted to do for years of my life, which is make videos. So I got a few questions on my coffee order, which is truly the same everywhere I go. Iced cappuccino. Basically it's an iced latte with less milk. I truly do not like the taste of lattes. They are way too milky. I love iced cappuccinos, iced flat whites, whatever has less milk to espresso ratio. And I do half sweet honey, or if they make their own syrups in-house, then I'll do half sweet vanilla. But that's pretty much it everywhere I go. I'm currently trying like 15 coffee shops in Austin to find the best one and making that into a video. So that'll come hopefully soon. Then I got asked what camera I use and then what editing software. So I go between 3 cameras. Mainly my Sony Handycam, which is 4K. It was my dream camera to get, especially for when I travel. I feel like a little mom holding it like this. That's the main one I use. I also use my phone a lot. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and then the camera I had before my Sony Handycam is what I'm filming on right now. It's a Canon EOS M50. This is such a classic camera. Like, it's amazing. I have literally 0 negative things to say about it. I use Final Cut Pro to edit. I made the investment because I wanted to be a YouTuber, and then I wasn't consistent on YouTube until this month, but I taught myself how to use it. It honestly is like a mature version of iMovie. What type of music do you listen to? I get really hyper fixated on the same songs, and I truly don't care to listen to anything but those songs. I love Taylor Swift, like point blank, like that's it. But I also really love indie pop, And then just indie. Lizzie McAlpine, the 1975. Sometimes I like folky music like the Lumineers, and I like the song Stick Season. I love Olivia Rodrigo when I'm feeling angsty. Phoebe Bridgers sometimes. I have friends that'll send me cool music. Bon Iver, Harry Styles. I'm very open to music. Like, I genuinely don't dislike most music. I don't enjoy EDM or lo-fi at all. I hate lo-fi, but I also listen to a lot of worship music, I guess. If you're consuming so much of something, it becomes part of how you view the world and part of your behavior and part of you. So I have to be really mindful with the amount of music I listen to. I love music. Always will. Favorite Evermore song? Off the top of my head, the first one I want to say is Evermore. That song, bro, her playing it live, I can't remember where she played it live. I want that embedded into my brain. I want that on Spotify so bad. I think the lyrics of Evermore are unmatched. This phone number keeps calling me and I actually need to block them. Okay, biggest takeaway from being in your 20s. I'm 23, so I've had 3 years of this. I get a lot of questions on like advice. That's why I'm really excited to start my podcast. I feel like that's gonna be like where I thrive in oral communication, because YouTube, you can only watch someone sit down on the screen chair for so long until you're like, okay, we gotta move on to the next thing. I guess off the top of my head, the biggest takeaway is you are learning yourself, your likes, your interests, your passions, the people that are gonna stick in your life, the friend that you are, the friend that you wanna be, the friends that are there for you. There's an ebb and flow to being in your 20s that you have to be okay with, because I don't think things are supposed to stay consistent in your 20s. It's where you're learning what matters and who you are and all these things. So if you allow yourself to seek God in that, it's not scary. So my biggest takeaway is that I need God more than I ever think I do. I got questions on my style. I am genuinely honored where I get most of my clothes from. Brandy Melville for basics. I used to thrift a lot / use eBay / go to flea markets. So a lot of my crew necks are all thrifted, and that's what I pretty much wear. So those are all secondhand. Jeans, I love Levi baggy dads. I have 3 pairs of those. And then yeah, I wear a lot of sweatpants. Brandy Melville sweatpants. Cezanne is a French sustainable brand, and their knit sweaters are the most beautiful, soft, expensive looking, because they are expensive, sweaters, and I love those as well. eBay, Brandy Melville, and Cezanne, and my friends' closets. And then I get my style inspo from Pinterest. I have a board called Threads. I think I really love and admire Scandinavian style because they take pieces that are so simple and then just every look just gets elevated by their layering, their necklaces, just everything. I'm obsessed. I love pastels as well. I feel like they use pastels a lot. But yeah, my Pinterest, I'll just link it down below. My camera battery keeps dying and I only have one for this camera. I got so many questions about Lyndon, my boyfriend, and I, and then long distance and all of those things. He's busy right now, but I want to try to call him for a second to answer this question with him. We're finally on FaceTime so you can answer this question with me. I'm about to also be in a long distance relationship. Any tips on how to survive? LOL.
Oh, the most cheesy answer ever. Communication. Learning how to be really intentional. Ways you can be creative about making the other person feel valued or loved or pursued. Always assume the best. Make sure you have good connection points, good times to connect.
Even if it's 4 a.m. for one of them.
Which happens to be me most of the time. And yeah, over communicate.
Good answers. That's pretty much all I'm gonna answer today. It is time to do things with my day. I also want to neti pot my nose because I'm so congested right now. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you feel like you got to know me better. Podcast coming soon. Love you guys so much. See you soon, either here or on Instagram.